What is up, you guys? So I got a pretty good video for you today. I want to talk about the 5 people you need in your life. So I'm a big believer in like you're a product of who and what you surround yourself with. Like um, if you hang out with 5 people who are doing drugs, chances are you're probably going to be doing drugs. If you hang out with 5 people who like to play video games, you're probably going to end up playing video games. So I think surrounding yourself with people who are going to help you, make you better, motivate you, and also correct you when you're wrong, like just that are going to do things that are going to impact you in a positive manner. I think it's really important to have these people around you. Because again, if you don't and you surround yourself with people who, um, you know, I don't want to say below you because that's not the point I'm trying to make, but people who are not as motivated as you or don't have goals the way you do or don't have like productive hobbies and ambitions, you're just going to end up being brought down rather than being brought up. So, your circle really does shape your success. And I want to talk about the kinds of people that you should keep close to yourself. And the first one actually might not be what you're expecting. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. So, the first person you need to keep close to you and you need in your life is going to be yourself. So, before anyone else, before your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your best friend, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, anyone, before all of those people, you need to have a good connection with yourself. You need to be comfortable with being alone because at the end of the day, on the last page of life, the only person you can genuinely and truly count on to be there for you is yourself. Now, that's not to say your family doesn't care about you or love you, or you don't have a really good friend, that wants what's best for you. But at the end of the day, the only person that you know for a fact will be there when you are taking your last breath is going to be you. So I think having a good mindset and connection with yourself and being comfortable with being alone is the most important relationship that you can have, because at the end of the day, if you're not comfortable with yourself, you're not going to be comfortable with anyone else. This is so important. And I think I learned this. I think I learned a lot about this during COVID. Now, during COVID, I had my family around me, and my family has always been great. Like, I love my family so much, and I would do anything for them. But I did spend a lot of time alone during COVID. And I feel like I became a lot more, I don't want to say necessarily comfortable with myself. I would say comfortable with being alone, being by myself. And that really opened my eyes up to how important your relationship with yourself is. So I can't stress enough how important it is to just be happy with yourself, be comfortable with yourself. And if you're not, you need to work on it and get to a point where you are. Number two, I think it's important to have one really, really good friend in your life. Now, I'm lucky enough to have one. I've known my best friend basically as long as I can remember. And, I don't get to see him as much as I used to because I moved. We still talk on the phone and touch base, and it's like we never skipped a beat. And I think just having this one really good friend to talk to and confide in and just be able to trust and just honestly just shoot the shits with sometimes. Just call up, talk some shit, get some updates on life, and then, move on with your day kind of thing. Like, having that is very refreshing, and it's good because it's someone that you can fall back on to, just talk to or ask advice or just check in with. Like, sometimes just human interaction in general is something that we need. So having that one person you can really trust and kind of let your guard down a little bit and speak to is very good to have. Now, I'm not saying you should force this. I'm not saying just pick a random friend to be your best friend or anything like that. But if you do have one, make sure you appreciate them and you stay in contact with them, because that is hard to find in life. One really good friend, and I will say too, like, it's so much better to have one really good friend than like 20 friends. Just because, like, again, there's just that relationship that you have with one really good friend. It's really hard to replicate that. And you're going to get a lot more out of that than having, just regular friendships with 20, 30, even 50 or 100 people. Like, I truly believe that the smaller the circle, the better the friendships. So that's number two. Number three is having a friend at work. So I feel like a lot of people just aren't happy at work, myself included. Like my job, it's okay, but it's not what I want to be doing every day. Or I guess I should say 5 out of 7 days a week for 9 hours. Like, it's just not how I want to spend my time. But having a friend at work makes it a whole hell of a lot easier, because at least you have someone who you can kind of talk to and relate with and kind of bullshit with every once in a while at work, and just kind of, I don't know, it makes the day go by a little bit better. Like, I've been in positions where I had a job and I just didn't have any friends there that I'd like truly connected with. You know what I mean? Like, I was friendly with people and we were cordial and all that, and like we were acquaintances, but it's not someone that I would hang out with outside of work. You know what I mean? But at my current job, like, I have some people like that I can actually hang out with and like drink a beer after work with, which again makes it so much easier to go into work, just because you have someone that you can talk to and relate to. So again, don't force this, and I want to make sure I make this clear. Like, don't force any of these relationships except for the one with yourself. You need to figure, if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you need to figure that out and make that happen, because that's really important. But all the other ones, like, don't force these relationships. They should happen naturally. But again, having a friend at work, just, it makes things easier, man. It's, if you're miserable at work, we spend so much time with our day jobs that if you're miserable there, it's just going to trickle over into the rest of your life. And that's just like, it's just no way to live, to be honest. Um, so that's number three. Number four is a mentor. Now, I'm a big believer in, like, if you want to get somewhere in life, you can learn from someone who is there now. Now, we all don't have the luxury of having a mentor that we can physically meet in person and talk to and learn from. So sometimes you have to adapt a little bit. And, your mentor could be someone that you don't necessarily know personally, but maybe you watch their videos on YouTube, or you listen to their podcast, or you watch them play sports. I don't know. I'm just giving examples here. But I think it's important to have someone to kind of look up to and sort of learn from their mistakes, kind of compare yourself to what it is that they were doing at your age. Whatever they feel has made them successful, try and, learn from that and replicate that. But I think it is important to kind of have someone to look up to and learn from, to help you get to where you want to go much quicker, because you will be successful quicker if you learn from other people's mistakes rather than making the mistakes yourself. Because, I mean, think about it. If you can learn from, even if you had like 5 people that you looked up to, like, if you can learn from their mistakes, you're going to learn 5 times faster than if you were to make those mistakes yourself, because you're only one person. That's 5 people. So that's another person I think you should, have in your life, whether it's physically or even just, online, or, on TV, or whatever the case may be, or even through books and podcasts and stuff like that. It's just someone to look up to as a mentor. And specifically pick someone who is where you want to be in life. So that's number four. And number five is, for me personally, is God. I feel like if I do not have, God on my side, and I feel like I'm walking through life kind of naked. And let me add a little more context to this. I know not everyone is religious, and that's okay. Everyone has the right to believe in whatever it is they want to believe. But for me personally, aside from my relationship with myself, when all else fails, who's going to be there for me? It's God. And I feel like having that relationship to help me grow, but also to fall back on when it's needed the most, it's helped me a lot in life, just through like my personal experiences and tough times and stuff like that. So that's a relationship that I've tried to maintain Personally, again, this may not apply to you, and that's okay. And I'm not going to harp on this. I'm not here to convince you to be religious or anything like that if you're not. But this is an important relationship in my life, and I would feel stupid not to mention this in this video. So that's the fifth and final relationship that I feel like I need to maintain in order to genuinely be happy and comfortable in life. And for what it's worth, it's something you can explore if you haven't already. If not, again, by all means, you do you. I'm not telling you how to live life, and I'll leave it at that. So that's it for today, guys. Those are the 5 people you need in your life. As always, I really do appreciate you guys checking in with me. If you're new here, I post every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and then on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I talk about all different kinds of things, mainly like personal finance and money, investing, budgeting, but I also just talk about life in general and my opinion on different things. So if you do like this kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments if I missed any sort of people in your life or any relationships that you like to maintain that are really important for you. I'd love to hear what you guys think. So I appreciate you guys as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.